Everyone says YouTube is saturated. Too many creators. Too much competition. Too late to start. But that's not true. Broad niches are saturated. Narrow ones aren't. There aren't too many YouTubers. There are too many people trying to make the same channel, the same productivity advice, the same fitness content, the same finance breakdowns. The opportunity in 2026 isn't going broader, it's going smaller. Today, I'm giving you niche YouTube channel ideas that are not oversaturated, and more importantly, why they work. Let's get into it. The secret: specificity wins. Before the ideas, understand this. You don't win by being better. You win by being more specific. Fitness is saturated. Strength training for busy dads over 40 with lower back pain is not. Finance is saturated. Money strategies for travel nurses is not. The riches are in the niches. Now let's talk real opportunities. 1. Career-specific money channels. Personal finance is crowded, but career-specific finance is wide open. Imagine channels like money advice for nurses, financial planning for software developers, budgeting for teachers, investing for pilots. Each profession has unique income structures, benefits, tax situations, and lifestyle challenges. Yet most finance creators speak in generalities. If you tailor advice to one profession, you immediately stand out. You become relevant instead of generic, and relevance builds loyal subscribers fast. 2. Behind the numbers channels. Why leasing a car costs more long-term. How much daycare truly costs over 18 years. The math behind moving to a lower tax state. The real cost of private school. These aren't hype videos. They're clarity videos. And clarity cuts through noise. People love transparency, and very few creators consistently provide detailed financial breakdowns. Most financial advice lives in abstractions. Invest early, cut expenses, build assets. Those principles are important, but what people actually struggle with are decisions happening this month, this year, in real life. Should I lease or buy? Is private school worth it? Does relocating actually improve my finances? Is staying home with a child financially smarter than paying for daycare? These decisions feel emotional, but beneath the emotion is math. And when you expose the math clearly, emotion loses some of its power. Why this format wins? Clarity content performs differently. It attracts thoughtful viewers. It builds authority. It earns trust instead of chasing clicks. When you walk through numbers slowly and objectively, people feel respected. You are not selling fear. You are not selling fantasy. You are revealing structure. And structure builds credibility. Over time, credibility compounds just like money does. Everyday decisions, long-term consequences. Leasing a car feels cheaper because the monthly payment is lower. But what happens after 3 lease cycles? How much equity exists? What is the opportunity cost of constant depreciation? Daycare feels like a temporary expense. But what does it total across early childhood? How does that compare to one parent reducing hours? What are the tax implications? Moving to a lower tax state sounds simple. But what about property taxes, insurance, housing inflation, job market differences, and cost of living adjustments? Private school promises opportunity. But what is the 12-year total cost? What could that capital become if invested instead? When you zoom out to 10, 15, or 20-year horizons, the narrative changes. And most people never zoom out. 3. Skill stacking for specific lifestyles. Self-improvement is crowded, but self-improvement tailored to a specific lifestyle isn't. For example, productivity systems for night shift workers, fitness routines for truck drivers, meal prep for single parents, time management for small business owners. The narrower the lifestyle, the less competition, and the stronger the connection. When someone feels understood, they subscribe. 4. Localized business breakdowns. Instead of talking about global entrepreneurship trends, analyze small businesses in specific cities. For example, how this coffee shop in Austin makes $40,000/month. Or breaking down the economics of food trucks in Chicago. Most creators avoid local specificity, but local content builds regional authority fast. And regional authority can translate into sponsorships, consulting, and business opportunities. Plus, local viewers are extremely engaged. 5. Niche tech simplified. Tech content is massive, but hyper-simplified tech for non-technical audiences is underserved. Think AI tools explained for real estate agents, automation for small gym owners, no-code tools for Etsy sellers. Instead of reviewing every new gadget, you focus on use case-driven content. You're not competing with big tech reviewers. You're serving a very specific group, and that's easier to grow. 6. Quiet wealth lifestyle channels. Luxury content is everywhere, but realistic middle-class wealth building is surprisingly underrepresented. Content like how couples save $100,000 in 5 years, how families live on one income intentionally, debt-free journeys without drama, financial independence for average earners, not flashy, not extreme, but relatable. And relatability is powerful. 7. Narrow hobby plus money combinations. Instead of just a hobby channel, combine it with economics. For example, the economics of sneaker collecting, the resale market of Pokemon cards, the real cost of owning exotic pets, how much it takes to maintain a saltwater aquarium. When you combine passion with numbers, you attract both hobbyists and financially curious viewers. That cross-section is often untapped. 8. Process-based learning channels. Instead of teaching outcomes, document processes. For example, I'm learning Spanish in 6 months as a busy professional. Building a side hustle with 5 hours per week. Trying to lose 20 pounds without giving up weekends. Documented journeys feel real, and people follow progress. The niche becomes your constraints, and constraints reduce competition. 9. Industry Insider explains. If you work in a specific field, that's your advantage. Explain how hiring really works in healthcare, how commission structures work in car sales, how construction bids are priced, what HR doesn't tell employees. Insider transparency is incredibly engaging, and most industries are barely covered on YouTube in depth. 10. Decision analysis channels. One powerful niche is helping people think better. Videos like, should you move cities for a salary increase? Is graduate school worth it financially? Should you rent or buy in 2026? Instead of emotional takes, you provide frameworks, clear models, trade-off analysis. In a world full of opinions, structured thinking stands out. Why these aren't oversaturated? Because they require specificity. Specificity feels risky. Creators worry the audience will be too small. But smaller audiences convert better, engage more, trust faster. And remember, you don't need millions of subscribers. You need the right thousands. How to validate your niche. Before committing, search YouTube. If you see big creators with millions of views on broad topics, that's saturation. If you see small channels getting consistent views on specific topics, that's opportunity. Look for moderate view counts, few dominant creators, strong engagement in comments. That's your signal. Don't copy trends. Trends bring short-term views. Specificity builds long-term authority. If your channel can be described in one clear sentence, you're on the right track. If it sounds vague, it's probably too broad. YouTube isn't overcrowded. It's under-differentiated. The algorithm doesn't reward another version. It rewards clarity and consistency. When viewers instantly know who your content is for, growth becomes easier. Niche isn't a limitation. It's leverage. If you've been hesitating to start because you think it's too late, it's not. But the playbook has changed. Broad is crowded. Specific is powerful. Pick a niche that intersects your experience, a defined audience, and a real problem. Serve that audience relentlessly, and let the depth do the work. If this helped you rethink your channel strategy, hit like so more creators see it. Subscribe for more insights on building income, leverage, and long-term digital assets. And remember, you don't need a big niche. You need your niche. I'll see you in the next one.